Have you ever wondered what happens behind the cold steel bars of a prison? A place designed to contain the dangerous and the disturbed. A prison is a chilling environment where every day can be a struggle for survival. Among these eerie corridors and shadowy cells, a shocking incident unfolded on a day that started like any other. In the heart of this concrete jungle, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, a name that echoes in the annals of a high-profile trial, fell victim to a stabbing. Chauvin, convicted in the murder of George Floyd in 2020, now found himself on the receiving end of violence within the confines of an Arizona federal prison. In the immediate aftermath of this horrifying incident, the prison staff sprang into action. The life-saving measures initiated were a race against time, a desperate attempt to keep the Grim Reaper at bay. Amid the urgency and chaos, Chauvin was quickly transferred to a hospital, his fate hanging in the balance. However, in the midst of this shocking event, there was a glimmer of solace. No employees were injured during the incident, a testament to their rigorous training and quick thinking. Despite the tension that charged the air and the palpable fear that gripped the prison, the staff emerged unscathed, a beacon of resilience in the face of adversity. A chilling reminder that even within the seemingly controlled environment of a prison, danger lurks around every corner. This incident serves as a stark warning that even within walls built to contain violence, the specter of danger is ever present, waiting for a moment of weakness to strike. Now imagine a peaceful night in Vermont, shattered by the echo of gunshots. A serene evening under a starlit sky, 3 college students of Palestinian descent were savoring the freshness of the Vermont air. Suddenly, tranquility was replaced with terror as a man approached them, his intentions obscured by the darkness. Without warning, the stillness of the night was pierced by the chilling sound of gunshots. The students were seriously injured, their casual evening turned into a horrifying ordeal. The local authorities were quick to respond, their sirens adding to the cacophony of the disturbed night. The victims, all in their early 20s, were rushed to the hospital, their lives hanging in the balance in intensive care units. The incident sent shockwaves through the community, a stark reminder of the unseen threats that lurk in the shadows. The Burlington police, led by Chief John Murad, immediately launched an investigation into the shocking incident. The authorities are exploring all angles, including the possibility that this could be a hate crime. The students, who were engaging in nothing more than a simple gathering, were targeted with such brutality, leading investigators to consider this hateful angle. The investigation is ongoing, with the police working tirelessly to shed light on this dreadful incident. The man responsible for this heinous act has been identified as Jason J. Eaton. A 48-year-old local arrested on a quiet Sunday now faces 3 counts of attempted murder in the 2nd degree. He is held without bond, his actions a grim reminder of the violence that can erupt without warning. In the face of such a horrific incident, it's important to remember that not all the facts are known yet. As the investigation continues, we must avoid jumping to conclusions based on incomplete information. But this much is clear. The victims were targeted, their peaceful night shattered by an unseen threat. A quiet night turned into a nightmare, a grim reminder of the unseen threats that exist in our world. But who could commit such a horrendous act of violence? The answer to this question is as chilling as the act itself. Enter Jason J. Eaton, a 48-year-old man who was apprehended on a quiet Sunday, now the prime suspect in this horrifying shooting. Eaton is not just any man, he stands accused of a crime most vile, a crime that shattered the tranquility of a peaceful Thanksgiving celebration, a crime that left 3 young lives hanging in the balance. He faces 3 counts of attempted murder in the 2nd degree, a charge as serious as the cold November air. Yet he waits, held without bond, in the grim confines of a detention center, the weight of his alleged actions pressing heavily upon him. And yet, this isn't a simple case of cut-and-dried justice. As prosecutor state attorney Sarah George points out, although we do not yet have evidence to support a hate crime enhancement, her words echo in the silence, leaving a chilling implication. The act may have been hateful, but was it a hate crime? The evidence, or lack thereof, tells a tale of ambiguity, a narrative that's yet to reach its climax. Despite the arrest, despite the charges, the story is far from over. The puzzle is still incomplete, the pieces scattered, waiting to be put together. Questions remain unanswered, suspicions unconfirmed. Was this a targeted act fueled by prejudice and hatred, or was this a random act of violence devoid of any clear motive? The shadow of uncertainty looms large, casting a dark veil over the entire ordeal. Yet, as the wheels of justice slowly turn, the truth will inevitably emerge, revealing the true nature of this monstrous act. A man held accountable, yet a mystery still unfolding. This is the unsettling reality we grapple with, a harsh reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface, waiting to rear its ugly head. What about the victims, the innocent lives caught in this web of violence? Let's take a moment to focus on these young souls. 3 college students, each with their own dreams and aspirations, brutally interrupted by a terrifying ordeal. Hisham Awartani, a student at the prestigious Brown University, and his friends from Trinity College in Connecticut were merely seeking some fresh air, some time to unwind and enjoy the company of their loved ones during the Thanksgiving celebration. Little did they know their lives were about to take a dark and horrifying turn. The students' families grappling with this shocking reality have been left in a state of despair and disbelief. Rich Price, the uncle of one of the victims, painted a poignant picture of a Thanksgiving gathering turned nightmare. Their joyous occasion was marred by an act of senseless violence, leaving a lasting scar on their hearts and minds. The 3 victims, who are all in their early 20s, find themselves battling for their lives in an intensive care unit. Their dreams and aspirations put on an unexpected and terrifying hold as they fight the consequences of an act of hatred. But why them? This is a question that has been haunting many, including Abed Ayoub, the attorney representing the victims' families. Ayoub believes that the victims were targeted, not for their possessions, but for their identity. 2 of the students were wearing traditional Palestinian scarves, a symbol of their heritage and pride. This wasn't a random act of violence, it was a targeted attack, a hate crime that sought to harm these young individuals because of who they are. Innocent lives forever marred by a senseless act of violence. The echo of this dark tale serves as a reminder of the chilling reality that lurks in the shadows of our society. The fight for justice continues, as does the victims' fight for survival. Their story is a stark reminder of the abyss of hatred, the horror of violence, and the enduring spirit of the innocent. Even the highest office of the land could not ignore the horror of this event. President Biden, the leader of the free world, stood before the nation, a look of grave concern etched on his face. He had just been briefed about the shooting in Burlington, Vermont, a senseless act of violence that had left 3 young college students of Palestinian descent, fighting for their lives in a hospital intensive care unit. In a statement that echoed the sentiments of millions across the nation, President Biden condemned the shooting. They were simply spending Thanksgiving gathered with family and loved ones, he said, his voice heavy with sorrow. While we are waiting for more facts, we know this. There is absolutely no place for violence or hate in America, period. The president's words reverberated across the land, a stark reminder of the ongoing problem of gun violence plaguing America. No person should worry about being shot at while going about their daily lives, he further expounded. The reality of these words hit home for far too many Americans who tragically know a family member injured or killed as a result of gun violence. And far too many Americans know a family member injured or killed as a result of gun violence, President Biden continued, his voice steady despite the grim topic. We cannot and we will not accept that. A firm declaration, a call to action, a plea for peace. The president's condemnation of the shooting, his call for peace and safety, is a sobering reminder of the dark reality that exists. The chilling tales of horror we've come to know aren't confined to the pages of a book or the scenes of a movie. They are real. They are here and they are now. A nation grappling with violence, a leader pleading for peace, and a society yearning for safety. Will there ever be an end to these chilling tales of horror?